Lewis Hamilton arrived at Suzuka fully aware of what was on the line. After a rough start to the season, struggling through a difficult weekend in Australia, and dealing with the pain of a disqualification in China, this race was meant to be his fresh start. It was supposed to be a turning point, the moment when he and Ferrari could finally show what they were capable of together. But instead, what happened during qualifying left Hamilton frustrated, the Ferrari team on edge, and more doubts surrounding the SF25's design. It became clear that while Hamilton's partnership with Ferrari had a lot of potential, it was being held back by a series of strategic mistakes and adjustments that just weren't working. The latest setback? A qualifying session at Suzuka that revealed just how fragile and flawed Ferrari's setup philosophy had become. So, that's exactly what we're breaking down today. The ride height adjustments, the balance issues, the ripple effects from Shanghai, and how all of this left Lewis struggling with understeer, sacrificing downforce, and ultimately qualifying way below where he and the team had hoped. But before we dive into all those crucial details, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates as the 2025 season unfolds. And of course, stick with us until the end of the video for the full breakdown of how all this could impact Hamilton's race on Sunday and possibly shape the future of his journey with Ferrari. From the very first practice sessions of the weekend, it was clear that Ferrari was treading carefully when it came to the SF25 setup. After Hamilton's disqualification in China, caused by excessive plank wear from the car running too low, the team had no choice but to make some precautionary changes heading into Japan. The main tweak? Raising the ride height of the car. It might sound like a small adjustment, but in Formula One, even millimeters can make a huge difference. And this change ended up having big consequences. By raising the ride height, Ferrari essentially took away one of the SF25's key strengths, its ability to generate steady aerodynamic downforce when the car was closer to the ground. As a result, Hamilton was left driving a car that felt off balance, unpredictable, and, most importantly, difficult to push through high-speed sections. The increased ride height pushed Hamilton out of the car's optimal aerodynamic window, causing instability and making it hard for him to trust the car. What followed in qualifying was a frustrating series of sessions where Hamilton couldn't get the car to behave the way he needed it to. He barely made it into quarter 3, and when the final shootout came, he could only manage 8 pisos, more than 6/10 behind the fastest times. For a driver of Hamilton's caliber, in a car that was supposed to be fighting for podiums, that result was a massive letdown. After the session, Hamilton didn't hold back. He made it clear that the ride height issue was still having a major impact on his performance. In his own words, Hamilton admitted they were running higher than they would have liked, something that was a direct result of what happened in Shanghai. It wasn't just a minor adjustment. It was a significant change that completely shifted the car's balance and feel. He also shared that he and the team had taken different approaches with the setup. While this can sometimes be part of a strategy to gather data or explore different performance options, this time it didn't pay off. Hamilton struggled with a lot of understeer during the session, when the car is slow to turn through corners and it becomes harder to trust it during fast direction changes. This robbed him of the confidence he needed to push hard. At Suzuka, a track known for its super fast, twisty corners, things got seriously tough. Making it even harder was the tricky setup of Ferrari's SF25. People close to the team say this car is really picky when it comes to ride height. It's not just about being a little too low or a bit too high. The SF25 only performs well in a very narrow range. Step outside that sweet spot, even just a little, and boom, performance takes a nosedive. That's exactly what went wrong this time. Even though it wasn't entirely his fault, Lewis Hamilton still took some of the blame, showing just how professional he is. He admitted that he didn't get great laps in Q3 and that P8 is not great. But reading between the lines, it's obvious that the car wasn't giving him the platform he needed to perform. This wasn't about overdriving or making mistakes. It was about being forced to compromise due to deeper structural issues with how the SF25 handles. What makes all of this even more frustrating is that there were genuine signs of promise earlier in the weekend. Ferrari had hoped that updates from simulator work and new adjustments to the rear suspension dynamics would allow Hamilton to attack Suzuka with more confidence. But all that progress Ferrari made, It got pushed aside because they had to make changes to avoid another disqualification. The catch? Those changes slowed the car down. Even with all that, Hamilton's staying positive. There's a chance it might rain during the race, and he's totally here for it. He even said, "I love the rain." Usually when you have a qualifying like this, you hope for rain. That's classic Hamilton. He doesn't back down from chaos. Instead, he sees it as a chance to shine, to do something others might not even try. Still, starting from 8th place is no easy task. To fight his way back to the front, he'll need a flawless strategy, a lightning-fast start, and maybe a little help from the weather. But the bigger worry isn't just one rough weekend, it's the pattern. Ferrari keeps running into the same problems, race after race. The car is way too sensitive to ride height, the setup has almost no wiggle room, and if they have to adjust things even a little, the car suddenly becomes way harder to drive. For Hamilton, who joined Ferrari chasing that legendary 8th world title, it's a tough situation. He needs to be patient, but at the same time, the team has to step up and make real improvements. What makes all of this so interesting is that it's not just about lap times or finishing positions. It's about watching one of the greatest drivers of all time trying to figure things out in a completely new environment. This is a whole different kind of challenge. Ferrari is one of the most legendary teams in Formula One, with huge expectations. They've got the passion, the history, and the drive to win. But right now, they're still struggling to put all the pieces together and turn that into consistent results. For Hamilton, this time at Ferrari isn't just about being fast. It's about legacy. It's about whether he can do what so many top drivers have tried and failed to do, master Ferrari, and in the process, make history. But the path to greatness is never easy. What we're seeing is a real, unfiltered look at what happens when a champion pushes hard, while the team is still trying to find its rhythm. Suzuka didn't just test the car. It revealed how delicate the balance is between pushing forward with new ideas and keeping things stable inside Ferrari's engineering team. Trying to fix one problem from the last race in China ended up creating a whole new issue here in Japan. And this isn't just some random setup mistake. It shows a much deeper struggle. Ferrari is still trying to fully understand how the SF25 behaves when it's under pressure, when track conditions change, and when it's being pushed by a driver like Hamilton. Someone who expects every detail to be just right. But there's another part of this story that really matters: Hamilton's mindset. Through all these challenges, his attitude has been nothing short of impressive. He hasn't thrown blame at the team, he hasn't had any emotional meltdowns or gone public with criticism. Instead, he stayed focused, breaking things down, making adjustments, and constantly pushing for answers. He's asking the tough questions, but he's doing it in a way that keeps the team focused and motivated. That kind of leadership might not make flashy headlines, but it could be the game changer if Ferrari wants to become a true championship contender. And remember, we're only 4 races into the season. There's still a long way to go. New upgrades are coming, teams are still developing their cars, and on any race weekend, the right mix of strategy and teamwork can totally change the story. If Ferrari can sort out their setup issues, if they can unlock consistent downforce without messing up reliability, and if Hamilton keeps pushing them forward from the inside, we might look back at weekends like this one and realize these were just the growing pains, the tough moments that helped build something much stronger. But, and this is a big one, time isn't unlimited. The grid has never been tighter. Red Bull is still charging ahead. McLaren is gaining fast, and even the midfield teams can shake things up when the conditions are right. If Ferrari and Hamilton want to be more than just a what-if story, the answers have to come soon. They need to act fast, make bold choices, and stop sacrificing speed just to play it safe. So, when the lights go out on Sunday, the real test begins. Not just of raw speed, but of grit. Can Hamilton turn all this adversity into an opportunity? Can Ferrari show that they've actually learned from their past mistakes? And can this driver-team combo live up to the massive hype it created when the move was first announced? We'll be watching every lap, every pit stop, and every radio call. Because this isn't just about starting position or a chance of rain. It's about something much bigger. This is about ambition. This is about redemption. It's the story of a champion and a legendary team, both chasing their next great chapter together. Now, it's your turn. Jump into the comments and let us know what you think. What's really holding Ferrari back? Is it the ride height sensitivity, strategy issues, unstable aerodynamics, or is there something deeper in the team structure that needs to change? And what about Hamilton? Does he still have what it takes to lead this project all the way to the top? If you've been enjoying our no-fluff, deep dive look into the human drama, technical chaos, and pure racing brilliance that makes Formula One the most thrilling sport on the planet, do us a favor. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a moment.